Give us a countdown.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Bakarmax Baatcheet, the tiny podcast of Bakarmax that very few people hear. So today, number one, what is Bakarmax? Bakarmax is a comics and animation studio. We make web comics, we make graphic novels, we make animated shorts, animated series. We fund all of it by doing client work. We sell our books, etc., etc. So, हाँ, Bakarmax Baatcheet is our podcast जहाँ every episode we try and go deeper into one part of basically comics, animation, and everything we do. So, today we're going to talk about Annecy. What is Annecy? Annecy is the biggest animation festival in the world. And our guest today is Vivekananda Roy Ghatak, हमारे एनिमेशन के माई बाप who went to Annecy and has just come back. Also joining us is Madhurima, our animation intern who is going to produce this episode. So hello Vivek,
Hello, hello.
કેવું ના છો? હવે એ છે કે જી?
Into my character voice.
Okay,
So
so what is NSE, Vivek?
it's like Academy Awards, but for animation. So it is the best, most coveted animation film festival, and also it has something called MIFA, which is a marketplace, which apart from the festival, you get to take your work, pitch it for funding, or you get to take your work and find studios across the world who will come and participate with your work if they are interested. So it's like the biggest marketplace of.
Okay, so just give everybody an insight into how did this trip happen? How did it come around? So I remember so I went to my own this US trip last year
Right.
to attend Lightbox Festival, and I got to learn so much, see so much कि मेरा तो दिमाग पूरा उल्टे का वो बिल्कुल फ्लिप हो गया एंड आई वाज लाइक के we need to do this every year. One of the team members has to go to a global thing, attend it, and see क्या उसमें से मिलता है. So from for me, like that was me pushing you, okay, go, go, go. But how was it for you? Like, how did this trip come about for you?
So I mean, you probably heard about Lightbox maybe few months before going for it, right? I've heard about Annecy since I was a student, right? And since then, it was a dream here. I'll get my film selected in Annecy. Uh, I'll go. One of my films was even shown in Annecy. I didn't even know it was part of some India package. It had gone long time back. There's one thing from Sesame Street. So I couldn't really take fayda of that occasion. But after that, none of my films got selected there. So, in fact, when I made my short film, which got selected to like lots of festivals all over the world, Annecy wasn't one of them. And I was like, I really wanted to get selected in Annecy. It didn't get selected. So when you are telling me, Vivek, doesn't matter your film got selected or not, just go. I was like, no, I don't want to go there. The film not being selected. What are you doing? I'm not worth it. So, thanks to you and my wife, like who went on along with me for the festival. I saw some sense and went there, and it was like everything I'd imagined and like much more. And it was really huge. It just took the first visit to Annecy just to understand what is happening. So I know I'll be going there in future also to really make the most of it. right?
So इससे एक छोटा cutaway to uh, in terms of Annecy, do you think like इतना बड़ा festival, do you think students should go there? Like if somebody starting their career like Madhurima here, do you think
Right.
like people should go there at that age?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
It'll, yeah, because when you're starting your career at that time, you'll know what what the world is like,
Hmm.
right? And you'll be much more open, especially for creating content. I saw the importance of creating content after working for 15 years of doing service work, right? But if you realize that what is the power of content, what is the power of IP, once you go to Annecy, you realize that, right? There are all these pitches. They have, apart from your short films and feature films that you submit, and animation document you submit for awards, they also award pitches. So if you win a pitch, they will actually get some really, award-winning animation director to mentor you, and so that your film can get funded and can be meta. So that pitch is a huge part of it. And you go to a hall, and if your film gets selected, or if your pitch gets selected, you go and pitch it to like hundreds of broadcasters, producers, animators, students. You stand in a hall and you talk about your idea. So that itself is like a fantastic. Um,
So two questions. One is where is NSE? And second is ke ye, what is MIFA pitches? What are these pitches and how can like somebody apply?
okay, so Annecy is in the south of France. It's very close to Italy and Switzerland also. It's a small village, but it's a beautiful place right next to the French Swiss Alps. So it's very close to Geneva. The best way to get there to go to Geneva and take a half an hour cab or bus from there to reach Annecy. It doesn't have an airport. It's a small place. About pitches, simple. Just go onto the website and apply. There are a lot of categories. You can apply if you've already made a short film. You can apply to send it for the competition section. Or if you have an idea for a short film, or an idea for a feature, or an idea for an animation series, right? You can write your document. You can, your characters, your story synopsis, why it should be made, what is unique about your pitch. You send it there. If it gets selected, they'll invite you. They take care of everything, your flight, accommodation, everything. Then you go and pitch to everyone nationally.
How does one navigate just going there? Matlab, you go on the website, you buy credentials. What is that? What is that tamjam for a
So
first time goer,
yeah,
like attendee?
so basically there is a festival, a pass where you get to see limited screenings. Then you get a festival plus pass in which you will be able to get all the screenings, but you won't be able to participate in the marketplace. Right? And there is MIFA, which gets you all the screenings, marketplaces. You also get intro into like a lot of funding discussions and a lot of work in progress pitches, like people who've got some funding and they're working on it. They come back to show how we are doing, what is our process, what is innovative here. So the MIFA thing really opens all doors there. But one very crucial thing which we realized is that the minute the all the events, there are around 950 films and pitches that are selected there.
Wow.
So there are around 1,000 screenings happening over a week, right? So you cannot watch everything at the same time. And this time, I think there were 18,000 people who had attended Annecy. So it was very lot of pressure. So whatever screenings you want to watch, you need to book in advance and reserve
Hmm.
your seat. And otherwise you might not get to see it. But also they don't keep everything reserved. They keep some seats so that you're last minute entrance. You've not been able to reserve. You can stand in the queue, stand there for 45 minutes before the screening, and if there is space, you get it.
I've also heard हम लोग एनिमेला पे भी गए थे. एनिमेला is a festival that is connected with NSE and उसमें भी कुछ लोग pitch करके they can go to NSE. Is that like that's one method? how is it different from sending it directly to Annecy? क्या है ये दोनों में difference?
Okay, so basically, what Annecy wants as a festival, it wants a lot of variety of work to come in, different styles, and they want to be representative of the entire world. Annecy wants as many variety of people to submit, right?
हाँ.
So they talk to different countries and they do something called a partner pitch. So let's say they talk to Animila and they tell Animila, why don't you get 15 pitches from India, which are really good? And we will select five from them. And the five pitches we selected, they can come to Annecy and do like a partner pitch, which is not on the main pitch where it happens, but it's on the sidelines. It's a smaller hall, but you still get a foot in the door kind of thing. The only difference is if you go by Animeta, you'll have to pay your way. Your travel accommodation is on you. I mean, it's a fantastic thing, Animela, also because the main draw is highly competitive.
Hmm.
In Animela, imagine you're guaranteed maybe in a year, maybe 200 people will send in their pitches from all over India, right? And there are five pitches will get selected from
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
World over, there are maybe 10,000 pitches,
Hmm.
and you're one person. You know how do you get
Hmm.
there?
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
especially from India, one person, whatever.
Hmm.
Here, five Indian pitches are getting selected.
Hmm.
Definitely.
ठीक है तो but basically if you're an attendee none of this matters, you can just go attend, you pay your way. So what does मतलब coming to, I had kept this question baat ke liye but now it's coming up, so how much does it cost if somebody was to just go attend NSE come back, like what would that whole trip cost?
Around 3 L
3 lakhs.
per person.
ठीक है. Now now going into the parts of it, so पहले तो what was your like favorite thing you saw, which you would say your top three things, top three films or top three shorts?
Uh, Top three, it's difficult to. Okay, I would say the top one would be obviously Chendi Tartakovsky's film premiere.
10 साल में पता नहीं what cocaine he has consumed that he has been coming after, like Samurai Jack का नया season, one show, second, one more show, back to back he's doing things, and he had a new, this is a feature fixed, yeah,
Yeah,
short. So he did Primal and now he made a new feature which is called Fixed, and Vivek has seen it. So that, now Vivek, go on.
it was amazing. And what was really fantastic is, I mean, we know his storytelling ability, but the absolute originality of the story, that is that he took, the subject matter he took, and he's done such an amazing job in telling that story. That was really mind blowing. And a lot of things in the animation. Another thing that came to me was like it was so simple. The look, it was very clean in terms of almost there was like no compositing. There was nothing. The drawing itself and the animation itself was so good. He just slapped a simple background behind it and just that's it.
Hmm.
One was this animator called Sylvain Chomet, he's a French animator. He made a biopic about another French filmmaker,
Hmm.
animated biopic. So that was also beautifully made and really, it was really interesting.
And the third one. What was the third
Uh,
one? So these were
Third
top.
one was I mean, many things. I don't know how to put it. One was there was this every year in Annecy they showcase one particular country,
Hmm.
and there all the work that has happened there. They do retrospective. They do current animators, past
Ah,
animators. So this time it was Hungary
okay.
was the featured country. And we saw some films by Hungarian women animators, and that was really mind blowing. That was like the drawing, the themes they took, the freedom to express the sexuality in animation was so amazing. It was just like really fantastic. Blew my mind. Their work, their concept. Then there was a series called WTF.
So how was WTF? What stood
Was
out?
really amazing. So in Annecy, all kinds of films are there, right? Some films are like very high on quality execution. Some are very high on craft, and then there is completely over the top absurd films, which are very irreverent and very the focus is not on the very slick execution. The focus is just on the idea has to be really powerful. It was curated by Titmouse. A lot of films were animated by Titmouse or their panel directors, but some were, I think, student films or something that they have, people have submitted to them that they showcased and made a thing.
So Titmouse, for people who don't know, is a big animation studio that does almost every adult animated show that you see. 50% chances that it might have been not like they're not the writers creators of it, but they it has been made at Titmouse. Other than animation obsessive, matlab in lot of Indian things and Indian studios were there. So who are the like prominent ones you saw?
So, अच्छा, Indian studios. So first was Heirloom, Upmanya Bhattacharya's studio, Potter Studios. And I couldn't get in the screening, it was jam-packed. Apparently, Upmanyu's screening got a standing ovation and was really celebrated and was like really well done and really fantastic. And basically, it's about story about textile weavers in Gujarat, and they're doing really innovative things in their production management. They're doing it all remotely. They choose to do it remotely because they felt they could get the best talent that way and not be tied out to a studio. They've teamed up with Seva, the organization in Gujarat, for women empowerment, and they get a lot of their frame, around 15 minutes of their film is done in an embroidery style or a weaving style or something like that.
Now coming to what were your bottom three worst films you saw, which you were like, मुझे नहीं देखनी, मेरी आंखें जला दो.
Another thing which I didn't like was there's another studio
हाँ.
from Philippines who were pitching an idea and something which is based again in their mythology and their reversioning. That was a trend. A lot of countries which are not European countries, they're all taking
हाँ,
their
so
mythology, but not putting it as literally mythology. They're adapting it to modern things, so it doesn't seem like mythology, but it's basically just selling
so
their
we spoke
content.
about this कि मतलब like fun filमें are like almost the domain of white people, that they will make the fun things, but if everybody else, the brownies, the blackies, the yellows, if we have to make anything, we have to stick to our culture, our values, our heritage.
Uh,
What is this garbage? Matlab, did any film you see break this garbage rule?
There were, I mean, maybe I've seen 2 or 3% of all the material that was there, but
Huh.
no, I did not see anything which is from a non-European country, which was not there because of its heritage, and
Okay.
it was purely there for its filmmaking. That was rare. Like
So,
Hungarian studios, those films are completely conceptual. It doesn't matter where it fits into
huh.
today's world. It fits into any world.
So how was France in general?
France, I mean, beautiful country, yeah. Spick and span and perfect, and like, and there are the fields also. Every kheti, major kheti is happening on the side. And the technology, everything is taken care of, everything is thought of. Like people are cycling everywhere, they're not using cars. It's so beautiful. Cycling lanes, hai, ye hai, wo hai. Everywhere, electricity conservation, the baat chal rahi hai. Like it's just amazing. I mean, most of Europe is like that. But so I suppose this was beautiful also.
Coming to this also, you sent me pictures of you went to some comics festival and you were like, अरे comics तो यहाँ पैसे
Oh,
फट
that
रही
was
है,
something else.
पागलपन है. तो हाँ, what is
Huh.
how are comics in France?
So we were we had one day. So we thought we'll go to Annecy for a few days. We'll see some of the festivals. Some days we'll roam around France. Plan was to go to Paris for one day and come back because David Hockney's show was playing there. But it was 5 hours away. Then we would miss a full day over in Annecy. So we didn't go. We went to Lyon. Lyon is 2 hours away from Annecy. We were looking at things to do. And suddenly we found something called a BD festival. What is a BD festival? It's a graphic novel festival which happens in 3 days.
I
So
thought organic cigarettes का festival.
yeah. तो ये लाइक कि ठीक है चलो जाके देखते हैं कहाँ पे है लोकेशन लियोन में घूमे हुए, and then we figured out it is in this place called it's called Hotel Devil. It's a huge. It's right in the city center of Lyon. It's like Rashtrapati Bhavan. जैसा मतलब ऐसा huge मतलब there's a building and it's really done up like that, and it was the Imperial Arts College, or there's an arts museum, contemporary museum, fine arts museum is just next to it. So very prominent place, you know. तो वहां जाके they're doing a graphic novel का festival. इतना importance दिया उसको. And we went inside that place also. It is पूरे मतलब whole inside is complete like golden building arches, Renaissance type buildings. Pura, you know, like the whole ceiling is painted with Renaissance period art and all that. And वहां जाके there are all these graphic novelists. They have their signing booths. They're sitting and people are queuing up in lines get their book signed. But there, because obviously India has a population nahi hai, so there's this person whom we met, Charles Berar. We had a lot of his books. We bought a lot of his books, English translation, of course, and we love his books and love his stories. There's a series called Museo Jean.
What's his name again?
Charles Berar. So just out of the blue, we wrote to him on Instagram. Like we heard you're in the BD festival, we are in Lyon, can we come and meet you? Like, yeah, we can come. So we chatted on Instagram last 3-4 years, I think once a year ऐसा कुछ हो जाता है. Then he said,
Do
yeah,
you
what?
exchange nudes?
Yeah,
Okay.
all regular. So then he said, yeah, come and meet me. I'm at the signing. So signing सोच के we thought, yeah, there'll be like 50 people standing. क्या फायदा? We have just 2 hours to catch a flight. Let's not do, you know. But luckily we went, and it's a huge place, so we didn't know where to go, where is he sitting. There was no, we didn't have a roster. ऐसे ही चले गए थे. So we asked this one of the volunteers. We had she saw our faces like, and we had I told her we have a kid to catch. We to meet Charles Beverid. So she took us personally. She like, okay, come and take you. मतलब on the third floor कहीं पे wherever his stall was, and we had a long conversation with him. And for everyone, he was not signing books. He was making a painting. He
Yeah.
sat and made a full painting
This
while
is
talking.
almost like the international signing system is this that you go and they will spend time with you. That's why you
Yeah,
stand in the line.
yeah. You sit and talk to them. ये है वो है क्या करते हो एनिमेशन ये क्या है आजकल यार लाइक यार अभी तो बुक लोग पढ़ना छोड़ देंगे सब एनिमे देखेंगे he was also cribbing all these things.
How what did you learn from Annecy? And what do you think you will now action? I think we can leave what we will action as a studio. I think usko let's hide it.
Right.
But what did you learn as yourself as an artist, or you as Bakarmax as a studio?
Uh, okay. Yeah, myself as an artist, it's like, you know, we always want to make short films that just come instinctively, but we don't end up doing it. And if you don't do it for a long time, you sort of lose the flavor of how to do it. So it was a full. I mean, there are a lot of these burning small ideas you have that you think, yeah, one day I'll make a film. So I'm more determined. I'm going to take that forward and convert into a film. And the pitching system is so amazing. It costs money to make a short film. Instead of putting your own money, you make a pitch and you send it to Annecy. If you get selected, it's a super validation of your idea, firstly,
It's
right?
called opium, other people's money.
So, you know, even if like you pitch something, get selected in Annecy, that itself will give you enough fuel to do it on your own. You don't need money also. बनाने के लिए it's your own film. So like super energized with that. And
हाँ, I remember you telling me जब बीच में एक बार एक फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस आया था एंड यू आर लाइक हाँ सुमित कुछ नहीं करेंगे कच्छों में बैठ के बस पूजिता एनिमेट करेंगे यार. सो आई गेट व्हेन यू आर सेइंग उससे एनर्जी मिलेगी और एनिमेट करेंगे. हाँ,
yeah,
फॉर
that is
यू
the
दैट मींस कच्छों में बैठ के एनिमेट करेंगे.
uh,
हाँ.
so वो तो मेरे लिए ड्रीम है that I never
हाँ.
have to worry about money. I can just animate like forever, morning to night. So uh, so that is the main thing, uh, and to do that. And secondly, also looking at artistic styles, different styles that people use. And Annecy, I think, has a very strong uh, this thing lean. They lean a lot towards something which looks beautiful,
Hmm.
right? So really want they appreciate things that have really pushed the envelope in terms of how beautiful it is, how it looks, and how not just, I mean, concept is there definitely, but they give a lot of weightage to the way it looks. And so it's also pushing me to sort of reevaluate the stuff I've been doing and how I can push the artistic envelope over there.
Hmm.
And I, in fact, started to figure out that how can I improve as an artist,
Hmm.
not just a production person who can animate XYZ
Yeah. Yeah.
or finish film, but am I an artist in the first place?
Hmm.
Can I do this? Is it my thing?
Hmm.
So because I felt really lacking in my skills. Here I can animate anything under the sun,
Hmm.
but to create beautiful animation art, I don't think I have that right now. What can I do to get that?
Hmm.
So that was the
Question: will you go next year again?
I don't know about next year, but yeah, definitely within the next couple of years, definitely another trip.
Okay. So, any questions, Madhurima, which you feel like you have as somebody who's working, has just started work in the animation industry? What do you think? Anything that you want to know which has been left unanswered?
Like, what you were saying about this thing, like not having your film there, but still going and just, being confident enough to just show up, even just looking at people. So, how do you approach people and talk to people as like a new artist, say, like go up and talk to them when you know that, you don't have as much to show or tell them, maybe?
I mean, people are there to, people don't want to know what you're doing. They, yeah, there to show their own work, and you go up to artists like, I love your work, this is fantastic. They're very happy to talk to you. So I don't think that's the thing. And I mean, one thing was interesting was I met a lot of in standing in line. So I talked to people ahead of me and like, where are you from? And most of the people were animators working in the UK or the US. And they're like, oh, I worked in this studio for these many years. Now I'm working with this, and I'm working with Nick, then I'm working with Warner Brothers, and and I did this, and all this basically different things. So, what are you doing? So, like, oh, I'm working on 2 animation series. Like, which production? I think my own production. So, like, what, really? And they're like, wow, yeah. Like, wow. So they're like, yeah, at the end of the whole thing, very few people are working on their own ideas. They're still, like sort of animators for hire in different studios. However good that studio might be, could be Pixar for but still you're not doing your own thing, right? So I mean that has a lot of value working in Pixar, sure. So this guy, the Pete Doctor, was there. This time he
Wow.
was felicitated and uh, launching the new film and everything. So yeah,
Say, so that is it. Chalo. Now, just to close it up, tie it up. So, thank you everybody for listening to this episode of Bakarmax Baatcheet. So, I want to thank the crew of the podcast, which is just poor Madhurima, who has now one more thing to edit and do before her internship ends. Um, Also, thank you, Vivek, for going there and just going through on such short notice and then figuring everything out, including visa, vagera. Uh, where can you find Bakarmax Baatcheet? Wherever you get your podcast from, go there. You'll find Bakarmax Baatcheet there. Apple, this, that, Spotify, Subject. Bakarmax does. You can go to our website, bakarmax.com. You'll find our comics and animation there. You can head to our YouTube channel. You will find our animated shorts there. If you're a big company who has money, wants to spend it on animation, Bakarmax are the, I think, best people to give money to. And also, Vivek, I asked you to bring a beret. You did not. Then somebody I know went to France. They accidentally bought me a beret. So eventually I got a beret, which I've been wearing. So that is it, guys. And thank you, Vivek. And yeah,
Thank you,
see you
Sumit, for
guys.
sending me there. And I and Sue were like, we have, what would Sumit do? How would Sumit go and talk to people? And we're like, channeling Sumit energy. And all the time.
Just be a dumb idiot.
So,